White House trade advisor Peter Navarro has leveled fresh charges against India over its purchase of oil from Russia, alleging the country is a laundromat for the Kremlin. Navarro's attack comes days after he termed India the Maharaja of tariffs, as he backed US President Donald Trump's doubling of duties on Indian goods entering the country. In a media interaction, Navarro asserted that India's oil purchase from Russia was virtually close to nothing before Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. The argument now, when this percentage has gone up to 30 to 35%, that somehow they need Russian oil is nonsense. The Trump aide could be heard saying in a clip shared by C-SPAN, India doesn't appear to want to recognize its role in the bloodshed. It's cozying up to Xi Jinping. India don't need the Russian oil, he said. Navarro's remarks appear less like a constructive critique and more like politically motivated jabs, aimed at rallying domestic support by targeting foreign nations. India, as a rising global power, should not be lectured for choosing its own path, especially by those who do not face the same constraints. Real diplomacy requires understanding, not finger pointing. India sought to secure affordable crude from Russia to keep inflation and energy costs under control. That's not being a laundromat, that's pragmatism.
So we send a lot of dollars overseas to India to buy their products in an unfair trade environment. India then uses American dollars to buy Russian oil. Russia then uses those American dollars that come from India to finance its armaments to kill Ukrainians. And then American taxpayers are then called upon to pay for the weapons that have to defend Ukraine against Russian armaments paid for by American dollars that came from India. That's got to stop. That math doesn't work. The president understands the connection between economic security and national security, so that was the bottom line there.
Israel's defense minister warned on Friday that Gaza City could be destroyed unless Hamas accepts Israel's terms, as the country prepares for expanded offensive in the area. A day after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he would authorize the military to seize Gaza City, Defense Minister Israel Katz warned that he enclave's largest city could turn into Rafah and Beit Hanun, areas reduced to rubble earlier in the war. The gates of hell will soon open on the heads of Hamas murderers and rapists in Gaza until they agree to Israel's condition for ending the war, Katz wrote in a post on X. He restarted Israel's ceasefire demands, the release of all hostages, and Hamas' complete disarmament. Hamas has said it would release captives in exchange for ending the war, but rejects disarmament without the creation of the Palestinian state. The call of potentially destroy Gaza City underscores how far the conflict has moved away from diplomacy and how urgently a long-term just resolution is needed, one that addresses the legitimate rights and security of both Israelis and Palestinians. Without that, more destruction, suffering, and instability seem tragically inevitable. Pausing the August 11 verdict directing relocation of stray dogs within 8 weeks in Delhi NCR, the three-judge Supreme Court bench on Friday said the dogs which are picked up must be released after sterilization and immunization, except those infected with rabies or exhibiting aggressive behavior. This means the dogs would still be picked up but would be released after sterilization as opposed to what the earlier order dictated. The Apex Court had directed the relocation of stray dogs in the region within 8 weeks, a move that had triggered protests not just in the national capital but several other parts of India. During hearing of peace, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, representing the government and backing the move, highlighted that dog bites are 37 lakhs a year, 10,000 per day, and rabies deaths number is 305 for the same year. WHO's modeling shows much higher number. Chief wrote, Prime Minister Modi ji is coming to Gaya today to perform the Pinddan, a post-death ritual of Nitish Kumar's politics and his party. In Bihar, PM Modi laid foundation stone and inaugurated multiple development projects worth around 13,000 crore rupees at Gaya at around 11 am. Thereafter, he inaugurated the Onta Simeria Bridge project on River Ganga. It will provide direct connectivity between Mokama in Patna and Begusarai. The new bridge will reduce the extra travel distance for more than 100 km for vehicles traveling from North Bihar and South Bihar. The PM also inaugurated the 4-lane Bakhtiarpur to Mokama section of NS31, which will ease congestion, reduce travel time, and enhance passenger and freight movement. Swara has been under fire on social media since her "We all are bisexual" comment surfaced on social media, with many criticizing her views. Swara is facing intense backlash on social media after her comment and revealing that she has a crush on Samajwadi Party Lok Sabha MP Dimple Yadav. Now the actor has reacted to the criticism by changing her bio on X. Her Twitter bio now reads, "Girl crush advocate, part-time actor, full-time Twitter pest, chaos queen, shopping my way through the apocalypse, free Palestine." The addition of "girl crush advocate" is a nod to the whole buzz and murmurs on social media after her confession of having a crush on Dimple. During an interview with Screen, Swara spoke about her view on sexuality. Swara said heterosexuality is an ideology that had been thrust on human beings. The interview went live 5 months back, but Swara's statement surfaced on social media recently and went viral. The Sports Ministry would like the much-awaited BCCI elections in September to be conducted as per the National Sports Governance Act by the cricketing body can hold them under the Supreme Court-approved Lodha Committee recommendations if the new legislation rules are not notified by that time, a Sports Ministry source said on Thursday. The ministry is aiming for the bill's full-fledged implementation in the next 6 months, but intends to have the detailed guidelines and regulations for its execution notified much earlier. Ideally, the election should be held as per the act, but in case the rules are not notified in time, they may go ahead as per Lodha Committee recommendations, the sources said. Elon Musk's X has reached a tentative settlement with former employees of the platform, formerly known as Twitter, who had sued the company for $500 million in unpaid severance. The agreement was revealed in a court on Wednesday, where both parties requested to postpone the hearing to September 17, 2025. On Thursday, the San Francisco Federal Appeals Court granted the request, allowing time to conclude the settlement. However, details of the settlement remain confidential. The lawsuit, filed as a proposed class action by former Twitter employees Courtney Macmillan and Ronald Cooper, alleged that Twitter failed to pay legally owed severance packages to them and other terminated workers, according to a report by the Associated Press. Meanwhile, other lawsuits are still pending, including a separate case filed by Twitter executives, including ex-CEO Parag Agrawal. The US Space Force is set to launch the X-37B orbital test vehicle from NASA's Kennedy Space Center near Cape Canaveral on August 21. According to a Federal Aviation Administration advisory, the launch window will remain open till 5:11 a.m. on Friday, August 22. The X-37B military space plane is a secretive mission and has been built by Boeing. It looks like a mini space shuttle and has been launched previously as well. The purpose of the X-37B is to advance US interest in the field of space technology. It does not carry humans on board, but only Space Force experiments. After being launched into space, the X-37B orbits around the Earth. It's like a small plane or a space shuttle that continues to move around until its mission is over. According to Boeing, the X-37B is about 1/4 the size of the space shuttle. The Indian Air Force is on the path of a historic transformation with a strong emphasis on localization, trade modernization, and the integration of advanced technologies. Central to this transition will be the light combat aircraft Tejas, which is set to form the backbone of the IAF's fighter fleet, with 220 Tejas Mk1 and Tejas Mk1A variants already planned for induction, along with the additional 180 Tejas Mk2 fighters. The Tejas program is steadily evolving into a cornerstone of India's air power. These jets will effectively replace legacy platforms such as the SEAP-CAP Jaguar strike aircraft, the Mirage 2000 multi-role fighters, and the MiG-29 UPG fleet, all of which have been vital to the IAF but are nearing the end of their service lives. The induction of large numbers of Tejas fighters not only strengthens the IAF's operational capability but also significantly enhances India's self-reliance in the defense sector. With this transformative roadmap, India is not only addressing its capability gaps but also laying a strong foundation for indigenous defense manufacturing, ensuring long-term self-reliance and strategic autonomy in the aerospace domain. A restaurant in Pune introduces a 20 rupees fine for food wastage, sparking debate on social media. Chefs emphasize the importance of mindful eating practices, a regular issue faced by eateries in customers ordering more than they can eat, resulting in cooked meals going to waste day in and day out. Addressing this issue, a South Indian restaurant in Pune came up with a solution. A visitor took two eggs to share a handwritten menu with a disclaimer at the end. You will be charged 20 rupees for wasting food. This move garnered 12k views on X and started a fresh debate. Is this a policy that should be implemented? Social media users and culinary experts remain divided on this topic. While some hail it is a long-pending move to tackle food wastage, others said that it fuels guilt instead of spreading awareness. Monsoon arrived at least a week early in India, that was in June, and since then, people in Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Maharashtra have been reeling with back-to-back cloudbursts, landslides and flash floods. These disasters have claimed numerous lives, left many injured and missing, and rescue and relief operations in affected areas are underway. Experts warn that India is now facing the cataclysmic consequences of climate change with even worse to come. The activists sounded a similar alarm, stressing that extreme events once considered rare, like heavy rainfall and melting of glaciers, are now occurring with alarming frequency. Interdisciplinary environment scientist Vishal Singh warned of more such disasters in India in the coming days. In simple terms, atmospheric moisture is increasing due to climate change, and this makes it difficult due to topography of the mountains too. He also noted that the lightning, thunderstorms, rainfall and cloudbursts have now become stronger than ever.